A very good evening once again. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. With me, Wadulo Mark Arnold. Without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's top stories before we get into the bulletin. This is Africa Book. Furthermore, President Museveni donates to Rukunjiri disaster victims. Madiokolo rejects a 1.4 billion seat secondary school over shoddy work. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has launched Jesus is Africa, a book authored by his daughter, Patience Museveni Rabogo. During the launch at State House in Entebbe, the president urged the younger generation to leverage their opportunities and capabilities to build upon the achievements of their ancestors and leaders in consolidating Africa's success.
Jesus Africa sheds light on the deep connection between the African continent and Christianity, tracing its roots throughout biblical history. In the book, Pastor Patience explores the pivot role of the African church in God's plan for redeeming nations, recounting her personal spiritual encounter with God at the age of 11, which set her on the path to preach the gospel. She also highlights the biblical mistakes of Africans selling its birthright, emphasizing the need for correction. During the book launch at State House Entebbe, President Museveni emphasized that the youth should recognize that Africa's challenge lies in the Edomite curse of relinquishing their birthright.
Now that some of you are coming up to see that the problem we have is the problem of the Edomite curse, that's what Patience is calling it. Esau, his children became the Edomites in the Bible. So, to remove that curse of selling the birthright, that's the problem. Otherwise, Africa will have everything. When some people say we shall cut off aid, what aid are you giving? We don't need aid. We have everything here.
The president stressed that Africa's victory could be solidified through economic and political integration, as well as self-sufficiency in agriculture, manufacturing, and science. He also called upon parents to provide ample exposure to their children, enabling them to continue the legacy of their ancestors. On her part, Pastor Patience Rabogo shared her journey of receiving a revelation from God in 2005, which unveiled a redemptive purpose for Africa.
The second plane is the revelation that I started receiving from God in 2005, when I saw a vision of God's redemptive purpose for Africa. I heard God's voice say, out of what was called darkness will come a great light, and that this light would come from within us. I discovered that the vision that Uganda is the heart of Africa, and that as Uganda aligns with God's redemptive purpose, it will have a domino effect in the rest of Africa. That was the beginning of the revelation. And over the last 17 years, the revelation has continued to grow.
The event witnessed the presence of esteemed guests, including Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, who conveyed greetings from the Kenyan President and Vice President, Reverend Dr. Jim Hawley, an African-American minister and civil rights leader, also attended the function and offered his support to popularize the book in the United States.
Pastor Patience, the author of the book Jesus is Africa, that we have gathered here to launch. This woman is a woman of great vision who has put together a work of divine wisdom with razor-sharp and unwavering passion. Our daughter, we are proud of you.
First Lady Mama Janet Museveni extended her appreciation to all the guests for honoring Pastor Patience's invitation and expressed her belief that God would abundantly bless them.
We pray, Lord God, that just as you brought healing and restoration to Joseph and his brothers after years of separation and pain, that you will do the same, Lord God, for us now in relation to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora.
Excellent. Another round of applause. Jesus at the center. Hallelujah.
Furthermore, ministers and other politicians who allegedly involved themselves in misusing Karamoja iron sheets will not face prosecution. This followed when the head of Director of Public Prosecutions, Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, disclosed that they are only remaining with 3 files. This was at a press conference held at the Directorate of Public Prosecutions in Kampala.
The head of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, says they are handling only 3 files remaining regarding abuse of Karamoja iron sheets.
When you go into an investigation, it's like blind. You don't know actually what you're going to get there. When we went in there, it was just about iron sheets. So the 27, I said we had to close at the early stages where we found that they were genuinely given out. They were from the Bunyoro docket. They were genuinely given out, and we actually closed those files. We still have about 3 files still under investigations, and a determination will be made at the conclusion of the inquiries.
Although at the initial stage of investigating the scandal, the DPP's office had 40 files. However, since some files had no criminal element in them, they dropped them, remaining with only 6 files now.
Circumstances under the iron sheets were received by these individuals, the manner of use of the iron sheets upon receipt of the same, and the refunds, as I told you, which were made both in kind. After perusal, we found that 17 case files, there was no evidence. There was no criminal evidence really to charge anyone. And we decided that we take an administrative action and let them refund the iron sheets either in cash or by the same quality and quantity.
The Director of Public Prosecutions Office also highlights the reasons why some ministers and members of Parliament were not prosecuted.
We found in most of the files, actually, more than 3/4 of them, it was the PAs who received. And then, by the way, we found out also in the course of investigations that most of these ministers had written to the office of the Prime Minister, had written letters as far back as 2019, 2020, asking for iron sheets. So when now they're informed by that PS that we have been called from the office of the Prime Minister to receive the iron sheets, they just went and just received the iron sheets. And I say this with all sincerity, not even once as the President called me and told me, I need you to handle this case this way. It's not political interference whatsoever, especially from the President himself, because that's where I see that's where I can say political interference.
As of now, out of 14,500 iron sheets which were mismanaged, so far 2,295 iron sheets have been recovered, remaining with over 5,000 which are still at large.
We made sure that you actually took these iron sheets and you did not use it for your personal use. That's why the investigations took longer. They told us we took it to this school, we went to those schools. They took to this hospital, we went to those hospitals. So it is that is just, we didn't find any evidence really to charge, apart from telling them, now that you found that these were actually not meant for your constituency, then refunded. Some were refunded in kind. 1,000 of them were actually paid in cash.
The 3 ministers and their co-accused are facing charges of abuse of office, dealing with suspect property, diverting public property, and dealing with stolen property, which offences they all pleaded not guilty to. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Inabugude, UBC News.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has fulfilled his pledge of assistance towards the families which were affected by the April and May 2023 heavy rains which ravaged most parts of the country, especially western parts of Uganda. The latest beneficiaries to receive the shillings 5 million package are those of Bwambara sub-county in Rukunjiri district, and this has been delivered by the Security Minister, retired Major General Jim Muhwezi.
In April this year, several parts of the country experienced heavy rains which left hundreds displaced, properties destroyed and lives lost. In Rukungiri district, these are some of the families from Bwambara sub-county who lost breadwinners.
Ndichasimira Agata omwishiki wa bone konsera chaba sasachi omuze wanje watigwe birabire na wenda ryo kwakana twino mulimo muhango gukorora amafuzi twine tata twine mawe zishategefu
zina baranyita masiko Elias mutabani w'umugenzi Kabale Francis owati ugamize birabire na wenda ryo kwezi kwakana.
After a long period of waiting, these families have on Saturday 24th June 2023 received the government's relief of shillings 5 million each, a package delivered by the Minister for Security, retired Major General Jim Muhwezi.
Government gave 5 million to each of the affected family.
Itwenka ba family ntuza kwatanisa kureka ngo hariho abana babatakamazire kushoma nabandi babashari bato yayine na projects zeye okuzisupportinga kugira ngo projects zezi yasigaza gumazina mani kurebeka ngo abana bibe bashoma bamara.
Nesema government yabasirikutwereza buhunga tukajya bambete bukazora mawe konka ranga gereza mugisha nasigara cyasemera gata konga zishagace tumagatanye namaka.
Nk'abana bo yasigira abakino mu isobine byo gukora kurebera family kuba mawakaye no muri muhango gwa kusapotinga mu family tushaba kugira ngo ranga twase twasikanye tugumene tukoranka family.
The beneficiaries are however being urged to put this assistance into good use.
Should sit how they should sit to solve their problem on that money.
And you have advised those who have taken the money to destroy that, so that they invest the money so that the money can continue helping the families. Of course, the money is not much and so it cannot replace the human being, but this is a good gesture from the President.
Government, on the other hand, tips communities about the dangers of interfering with nature.
We are warning our people to become more careful in the environmental management. People don't care, they misuse the soil, the way they dig.
We need to educate our people. First of all, to protect the environment, because these disasters you hear, River Nyamwamba, Bududa, this one in Bwambara, all these disasters are caused by interference by man to the environment, attacking forests, encroaching on wetlands, growing on rivers and lakes. This is the reason why there are disasters.
It should be recorded that in the month of April and May, the western parts of the country were among those regions which were hit hard by the floods and hailstorms, which washed away roads, schools, gardens, among others. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Rukong.
Sylvia Achena Peter, a resident of Seta, Canaan Sites, Badjo, is searching for her 11-year-old nephew, Achola Elizabeth, who disappeared from home last week. Achola Elizabeth was brought to Kampala from Alebtong district in February this year, and she was schooling at Bright Angels Primary School. She's expected to be in the areas of Seta, and whoever knows her whereabouts is requested to take her to the nearest police station or call the following numbers. Take note: 0772 682 863 or 0741 31252. Those numbers again are 0772 682 863 or 0704 131 252.
from Setabajo Canaan Site Estates. I'm here to represent Achola Elizabeth, the young girl who came all the way from the village and disappeared last Saturday on the 17th from Chigunga. This girl came up to near Seta High School and disappeared from there. So I'm here requesting whoever is keeping this girl in her home or in his home to take her to Seta Police Station. My phone number, if the girl's phone is called, it is called 0772 6828 63 stroke 0774 158 380.
Government through Africa Development Bank scheme is set to give a facelift to a number of government-aided traditions secondary schools across the country. Accordingly, this will be also a way of creating accommodation for more students being pushed from private schools due to unaffordable fee structures.
The Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, says Busoga College will soon get financial support from government.
We are now pumping a lot of money in education. Our UPE program is producing wonderful results. USE program, the same thing. We have continued to build schools. This budget, if you listen very well, there is even money for revamping traditional old schools, including this one. This year alone, we constructed 117 secondary schools. We are going to embark on another 115 schools. There is money we are putting in tertiary institutions. Why is government putting so much money there? Because we know you are the future of this country.
The minister advised the school management to initiate investment projects since it has a vast unutilized land and also provide maximum security at the school to prevent wrong elements from accessing the premises.
I want to appeal and pray to the Board of Governors and everybody here to become much more security cautious. Look at our structure, look at our system within the school. If there are any security lapses, please put them right.
The school head teacher, Athambalule, outlined a number of challenges faced by the school, ranging from dilapidated structures, especially those roofed with toxic asbestos.
Whenever we get an opportunity, we say this is our problem, asbestos and welfare for the teachers.
I want to tell you, if it was a priority, it's very easy. All of us have got problems.
Yes.
But the issue is priorities are handled as priorities.
Yes.
If you have it top on the agenda, I want to tell you before next year ends you.
Despite the fact that the national financial year 2023-24 begins on the 1st of July 2023, stakeholders in the agricultural sector have started to implement it, especially by emphasizing value addition and methods of irrigation to support farmers overcome issues of climate change. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, in partnership with private agricultural training institutions and other stakeholders, have started to donate equipment aimed at supporting farmers in value addition and practices of irrigation. More details in this report.
Government recently presented the 2023-2024 budget, emphasizing that the agriculture sector implements value addition and practices of powered irrigation methods to farmers to curb the climate change challenges. The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, in partnership with private agriculture training institutions and non-government organizations, have started implementing the new budget. This follows the donation of the consignment of value-addition agriculture equipment worth 100 million shillings to the youth who had just completed training in value addition to support them curb the climate change and application of powered irrigation practices as required in the national budget. The value addition agriculture equipment were handed over to the beneficiaries by the Acting Commissioner Crop Production from the Ministry, Alex Lwakuba, accompanied by the Director, Rusid Organic Training College, Samuel Nyanzi, and officials from Avis. The Director, Rusid Organic Training College in Mityana, Samuel Nyanzi, commended the government for emphasizing value addition methods and irrigation practices in the 2023-2024 national budget, and encouraged farmers to emphasize government programs for the betterment of the agricultural sector.
The Ministry of Agriculture actually has started giving some irrigation system to farmers. The challenge is the cost, the co-funding is, I think, is inflated, and this is actually making farmers not utilize this facility. So I think it is very critical that the people who are concerned actually consider the co-funding, but also look at the right prices instead of letting it, which makes farmers not actually to access the irrigation system which has been put in place by government.
The beneficiaries promise to utilize the skills and knowledge acquired to promote value addition.
The situation where I work from, the competition is at high rate, whereby I use a dispenser. I actually don't have a room. I'm on a veranda. I use a dispenser. When rain comes, it also affects. Rain comes, it affects actually. When there is much sunshine, it also affects. So the weather is not all much better for me to work in such a place. But I hope with much time, my business is going slowly, I'm to get a room.
Sada Mubale, Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
Furthermore, the State Minister for Agriculture, Bueno Fred Chakulaga, has urged actors in the dairy industry to enhance dairy value addition, boost productivity, create more opportunities to also contain challenges of fluctuation of milk prices in the sector. Chakulaga disclosed this at the National June Dairy Month celebrations in Sembabule district.
The National June Dairy Month celebrations held in Sembabule look at the shared commitment, hard work, and the significant strides made in the dairy industry.
So that sustainability is what we are talking about for the future, but also reflecting on the indispensable role of the dairy farming to our food security, nutrition and socio-economic well-being.
With an impressive annual milk production of approximately 3.2 billion litres, the industry contributes to the global food security. Dairy Development Authority commits to improving the quality of dairy products and expanding markets.
The coolers that we have given to Rukshuru Dairy Farmers Cooperative, Sembabule Dairy Farmers Cooperative, Narutanga, and all this is introduced post-harvest losses.
The State Minister of Agriculture, Fred Chakulaga, cautioned players in the dairy industry to embrace dairy value addition.
If we embrace value addition, we shall be able to multiply the contribution of the dairy industry to Ghana's economy by 10 times. We shall also be able to address the challenges that the chairman of the union, the cooperative union, talked about, price fluctuations.
Stakeholders in the sector placed challenges to the authority that still hinder the sector's growth.
Milk price fluctuations. Yamate
These attribute concerted efforts that the Ministry of Agriculture should undertake in curbing the challenges.
But farmers need sensitization.
farmers need to know the most up-to-date technology in terms of farming. We now have different challenges. We have challenges with our environment. We are investing a lot as farmers, but when it comes to how much we are paid for our milk, it does not encourage one to remain in this industry.
The authority also took part in engaging with communities in giving out free dairy products in Zimbabwe schools and hospitals. The celebrations were marked under the theme, Sustainable Dairy, Good for the Planet, Good for You. Lydia Chomkama, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Tragedy has struck the peaceful village of Chijonjo, Buunga sub-county in Masaka district as the grisly details of a heinous murder unfolded. 5 members of the same family were brutally murdered in their home, sending shockwaves through the community. Now Salongo Emmanuel Mutesasira, his wife Ndagano Proskovia and their daughter Nakavuma Nakamia and their 2 young grandchildren Kayemba Robert and Nakasanga Shivan fell victim to an unspeakable outcome. The deceased were identified as Salongo Emmanuel Mutesasira, who's 57, Proskovia Ndagano, 52, their daughter Bitna Kalyango, a 13-year-old pupil at Nkuke Primary School, grandchildren Shivan Nakasaga, who is 5, and Robert Kayemba, who is 2.5 years. Chijonjo village chairman Basude James called for an investigation.
Banga limaze myaka 2 mwezi 3 mukulembeze sina nsobye naje nali mukutemu era sina nti bo bali bamuwabide ko nti bayine nkayana n'abantu naye kino kitusobedde banga lyonna twali sikya kasoka nzalibwa kitalo nnyo kivumya lese kuumira yenna era saba mukama polisi tuyambe bakoze ensonga eno enonyerezo solo kwatibwa abalumbuga z'amateeka.
Francis Chimuli, the district speaker, said there may have been a family dispute.
Aliye musajja mukulu yagezeza kukulwana bamutidde wabweru ku mulyango gw'emiryango kuyingira mu nyumba ye nga bimulabye n'ekitalo nnyo abateeberezebwa okubanga ebassa abantu bano eti poliisi egenda kuyambako naye bateekwa okubanga abantu ba famire balina kuba akakwate ne famire eyo sinzira ku mawulire tuwulidde mu batuuze abali wano.
The MP for Masaka district, Joanna Mutawe, said the police have not done enough to provide security to their constituency.
Fenga abakulembeze twongera okutya kubanga ekintu nga kino kyaliko mugombola yekyana mukaka nga bagenda basanjalika famire ku famire so ntwala omukisa guno ogamba gavumenti ku mulundi guno banoonyereze lwaki abantu abatema abantu bwajja okutema famire yonna nsuubira nti bwe banatuwa ku lipooti bwetu kijja tuzaamu abantu amaanyi okumanya nti abantu abatema famire baba baagala ki ate n'ekirala fenga Masaka eyalule yekyalo tulina obuzibu nti entambula etambuza abapoliisi fenga district setulina kabeera DPC okutambula talina wadde piki kati essaawa zino ziri mukaaga enjego yaguddewo kiro bantu ne bamukubira ng'obudde bukyali naye tanatuuka ku siini poliisi ezze evudde mu site kubanga be balina entambula nembwa okujja wano era naye evudde mu site bagenza otuuka ng'obujulizi bwonna olw'okuba abantu bababeera balinnyeerinnyeewo obujulizi buba bwafudde.
Some relatives of the deceased have called on police to investigate the murder.
Bintu ng'ebyo by'ebikanga webitu bali tubisuubira n'ekibi nnyo era kitalo nnyo okubanga kiri mu kyalo nga Kijonjo.
Tinnabadde ne bawala wange babiri abazaaluma omugenzi atemuddwa kulumbe ku kyalo kye bayita Kamusi. Basabye mbagulire ku mwenge ne mbagamba abange mulinde obudde buke nja kukola ki njja baguza omwenge ku ssaawa 12:30 amawulire gajja nti taata we bamuse oba nze kuba adde mutabano wange abadde ampita kojjaawe ntosegga wakanya nibanga tikisoboka ate nga ani amuse byagendera wa
oba nditubuulidde kye baba banja ne tubaliyirira ne batta abazadde baffe abatalina musango bonna n'abaana ne babamalawo banaye tuli mu nnaku mpitirivu mutusabire bannange
ankubira essimu ne banga taatawo ne maama wo bamuse naye tuvumirire ettemu lino kituyitiriddeko bannange n'akaana k'emyaka ebiri akaana katasobola nakwogera nti gundi yase gundi wabula kyo kitusobedde saba buyambi bannange kino kituyitiriddeko bantu.
The bodies have been taken to the morgue for further investigation.
Ekibaddewo kiraga nti basobezeddwako. Tukubiriza abantu baffe oba tuvumira ne sekuvumirira ekikolwa ekyakoleddwa abantu bano abatudde abantu baffe batalina misango. Era tukola ekisoboka okulaba nti abantu bano tubakwata era bavunaanibwa.
The Vice-Chancellor Cavendish University, Dr. John Mugisha, has asked government to give more support to tertiary institutions to ensure quality education. This was at an event where over 100 students of Cavendish University were being awarded degrees and other academic qualifications. Details in this report.
Students who have completed their studies in academic and honorary degrees at Cavendish University have been awarded with academic presentations at an event held in Kampala. The Vice-Chancellor of Cavendish University, Dr. John Mugisha, officiated the event where he asked government to give more support to tertiary institutions.
They tell us that some of the graduates who come out now need a bit of time in order to become productive. They need a retraining. So it tells you there is a gap. And so what we are doing in universities now, we have gone for people that we call professors of practice. We are going for professors of practice. In fact, I'm eyeing all of you that have received this award.
The Vice President, British University in Uganda, James Tweheyo, on the behalf of the President, expressed the government's willingness to support change in the education system.
Achieve the corporate goal of the university, which is primarily to imbibe the culture of creativity, innovation, imagination, and the students and others will go a long way to exhibit them in public. Your contribution towards the great success that the university has achieved in Africa, Asia, and even elsewhere in the world. We honestly hope that you will continue to give your support to the university to the best of your knowledge and ability. Once again, thank you for all that you have done, and God's blessings to you all.
Igoma Grace, on the behalf of the British University, explained that Uganda education trains more job seekers than job creators, a situation that has affected development.
The narratives from going from office to office with a first degree, which may be first class, looking for a job, to what you can do, not just for yourself, but for others around you.
Among the graduates was the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender and Labour, Dr. Agre David Chibenge.
I think this builds onto work that I've done for many years within the education sector, and now in the ministry responsible for social development, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. So it is not an academic award, it is an honorary award.
Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugode, UBC.
Congratulations.
The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Bariomonsi, has launched a unique campaign to boost students' academic performance in his constituency, Kinkizi East. The minister is determined to make a difference by providing support to schools and students in a simple way and also making it effective.
As part of his campaign, Minister for ICT Dr. Chris Baryomosi is giving out free textbooks on the new curriculum to all secondary schools in his constituency.
Engaro! Assortment of textbooks, particularly science textbooks, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and Kiswahili, as a way of supporting the teaching of science.
The offer also involves giving out computers to selected schools.
We have been having this challenge of computers where they are not enough for our learners, but now we have gotten 3 computers from our minister. We hope that studies will continue to thrive.
Meanwhile, in the world of sports, Minister Dr. Chris Baryomosi is also investing heavily in schools through providing sports toolkits with jerseys, boots and balls.
And I have also donated netballs for these girls to engage in sports, and I pledge to continue supporting this school so that we build it into a school of excellence.
During his constituency tour, Baryomosi also conducted impactful career guidance sessions with school administrators. Kenkezi East is among the most remote areas of Uganda which are not yet connected to the national grid. However, the Minister for Information, Communication and Technology says that government through the Rural Electrification Agency is intending to extend hydropower to schools in hard-to-reach areas. Dr. Baryomosi is also convinced that once these schools are connected to the national grid, it will be easier to teach computer-related subjects to learners. The minister also highlighted the challenges of indiscipline and peer group pressure, emphasizing the need for a disciplined approach to learning.
Always lovely to see the minister enjoy himself. Now, the Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda, has asked security in the Albertine region to ensure that they monitor meeting places as the country battles ADF rebels. The minister said this while presiding over the belated Women's Day celebrations for Hoima district at Chibanjwa Primary School.
The Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda, has asked all people in busy places to be alert lest wrong elements attack them. The minister's words come barely a few days after the rebels' heinous attack and murder of over 40 students of Mpondwe Rubiriha SS in Kasese. She says, Hoima being at the border of DRC and having oil, there is a likelihood of a rebel attack in the region.
Because all these are topic grounds. They will not forward and they are just acting in ways that may attract attention to them. At this point in time, there is really no reason for killing innocent citizens.
Minister Babalanda has also expressed concern over increasing cases of land grabbing in Bunyoro and urged residents to ensure that they title their land. She also reveals that the upcoming Hoima LC5 by-election has divided Hoima leaders. Harriet Businge Mugenyi, the Hoima Woman Member of Parliament, requested the minister to address issues affecting fishermen on Lake Albert.
Because much as security intervened, but it's like the situation is worsening. I called upon because Canadians were meandering about. I told the minister it is only the President of the Republic of Uganda that can now intervene and give his executive orders to ensure that the people at the lakeside.
Pius Wakabi, the Bugahia County MP, called on government to degazette some forest reserves in the region such that people who have no land can get where to cultivate.
Because Kabalega resisted these pretense and what? They punished Kidero by gazetting almost 60% of our land. So the population has increased. My request to government is that we should gazette some land and give it to our people. What I'm seeing is that some leaders, some security personnel are dealing with mafias from Kampala to take away our people's land. So as government must come in and intervene.
The minister also met with border cyclists and promised to support them.
In response to the growing challenge of misinformation in Uganda's media landscape, the Debunk Media Initiative has emerged as a frontrunner in the fight against false news. Led by Edgar, a fellow of the renowned Media Challenge Initiative, the organization is equipping journalists with the necessary skills to effectively fact-check news stories and counter the spread of misinformation. Information has become a breeding ground for inaccuracies. Recognizing the urgent need to address this issue, the Debunk Media Initiative is offering comprehensive training programs that teach journalists various fact-checking methods.
Journalists are the people that shape the narratives. They're the people that tell these particular stories. So when we give them all the skills that they need to verify information, that means the information that will be consumed by Ugandans will be, first of all, accurate and will make Ugandans make decisions from an informed point of view. So
one crucial aspect of the training is the introduction of powerful image verification tools. Journalists have been equipped with tools like PMIs, Google Lens, TinEye, Yandex, Bing, and Forensically to verify the credibility of images used in news articles and social media. By utilizing these tools, journalists can identify manipulated visuals to prevent the dissemination of misleading information.
There is a lot of misinformation because, first of all, so many people have smartphones. Anyone can be anywhere and can capture anything, and before you know it, it has gone viral.
In the battle against misinformation, the Debunk Media Initiative stands at the forefront, arming journalists with fact-checking tools and knowledge to ensure the authenticity of news stories.
There has been this whole long-term bias of the newsrooms need to be working in time, like to have all their content right on time, and for someone to really go through the entire process of fact-checking could take quite some time for them to actually deliver the final product. And then the journalists are actually on pressure. They need to deliver on a daily, they need to deliver in time and all. And most cases they will forego certain steps to make sure that whatever they are presenting or whatever they are going to report to their editors has been fact-checked and has been verified to be factual.
The Debunk Media Initiative's efforts comes at a pivotal time as misinformation continues to erode public trust in traditional media sources. Through their initiative, Edgar and his team aim to restore credibility to journalism by empowering journalists with fact-checking skills, paving the way for a more informed and trustworthy media environment in Uganda. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News in Kabalagala. Family Division has set 27th June 2023 to deliver a verdict in the case filed the children to the late Supreme Court Justice Stella Arach Amoko against the deceased husband, Ambassador James Idule Amoko, contesting to where to bury the deceased. This comes at a time when all parties completed giving their evidence in the case presided over by Justice Katra Katunguka. Let's have a look.
The body of Lady Justice Stella Arach Amoko will have to wait a little longer, as court is yet to give its verdict on the place of burial. The applicant's submissions are that the decision to bury the deceased in Nebbi was reached during a meeting held at Chinawataka on 18th June 2023 and was attended by all family members from both sides, including the deceased's husband, Ambassador James Idule Amoko. They also disagree with the alleged custom burial ground situated in Nebbi. They contend that the alleged place of honor doesn't exist since there is no evidence to prove that. With this, they prayed to court known to allow the decision of Ambassador James Idule Amoko to bury the late Lady Justice in Ajuman. Since the deceased is a princess, the ritual practice of Rotorigama and Kwalukajoma community have to be performed, which will be impossible if she's buried in Ajuman. They also contend that the deceased being married doesn't in any way dissolve her ritual rights or ritual norms. In their response to the applicant's submissions, lawyers for Ambassador James Idule Amoko first informed court that the deceased has been married to Ambassador Amoko since 1996. They also dismissed allegations that on 18th June 2023, the applicant and the husband to the deceased held a meeting to resolve where to bury the deceased. The respondents also added that there is nothing that clarifies the alleged cultural practice since they were last performed in 1993, as per the Prime Minister of the community, Godfrey Abelo's affidavits. They also dismissed allegations that the deceased was not in any way connected to Ajumani, saying that she was honoring Ajumani during a housewarming party. On the issue that the husband did not bury his first deceased wives to the alleged place where he prefers to bury Justice Amoko, they were of the view that there was no evidence presented to court, although judicial at first had indicated that the burial of Lady Justice Stella Rach Amoko was to be in Wuna Central Village in Ajuman District. In the submissions from the Attorney General's office, the burial venue was communicated to the judiciary by the deceased's husband, Ambassador James Idule Amoko. According to the respondents, there is no satisfactory evidence that has been provided by the applicant to challenge the decision of the spouse, Ambassador James Idule Amoko, to bury the late wife in Ajuman. Court was told that the application was just based on the applicant's wishes and their interests. Justice Ketra Katunguka said 27th June 2023 to deliver a judgment in this matter. Deborah Namamonde.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Uganda's oil and gas projects are providing opportunities for Ugandan businesses. Between 2017 and 2022, 40% of the 3,800 procurements worth $4.4 billion were awarded to 460 Ugandan companies. This includes 41 community-based companies that have been awarded contracts worth $2.3 million. In order to be contracted to supply goods and services for oil activities in Uganda, entities must register on the National Suppliers Database. Over 2,300 entities are registered on the National Suppliers Database. Registration is free. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Dear Airtel customer, we know that there are days when unexpected stays in hospital stand in the way of your family's welfare. That is why Hospital Center is here to give you up to 100,000 shillings every night you spend in hospital. Hospital Center also offers up to 4 million in funeral benefit. Dial star 185 star 7 star 6 hash to purchase Hospital Center on Airtel Money for as little as 1,000, 3,000 or 5,000 shillings a month. Your cover for the first 1 month is free. Hospital Center is underwritten by Prudential and powered by Turaco. Prudential and Turaco are regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda. Airtel Money is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
This isn't just a girl.
She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Attention coffee farmers, traders and processors. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has important advice for a successful harvest season. Pick only red farm cherries to achieve good weight and high quality coffee. For natural processing, dry coffee on tarpaulin, concrete or clothing to avoid mold growth. Avoid heaping coffee on the floor. Store coffee in jute bags and in ventilated rooms on wooden pellets. For more information on good harvest practices, visit your nearest extension worker or Uganda Coffee Development Authority offices.
MTN Uganda ne Uganda waraji bakusako manrane chikona tena tekobu seko season yakuna savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall usasule kwa MTN mobile money usasula gumu chitundu MTN usasule nega nkomitano niga stemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ufune tiketi yokati wabula kumulyango usasule mitwale ebiri yepe mitwale 5 ate meza ya milioni 2 munana July Golden Hotel mkono mwenda July Nikan Resort Airways 15 July France Africa Jinja 22 July Maria Flema Saka 22 July Afro Club Kasangati ate yoyo noku yingi na mutwalo wafujinidwa mu Sente Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Waraji ne
MTN.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. Now, according to reports from UBOS, there are at least 5 million people in Kampala during daytime, while the estimated number of residents is 2.5 million. Now, this is a significant influx of people coming to the city for business. However, the major challenge they face is the stress of traffic. This special report, we will examine the traffic congestion and how it is being addressed. Ivan Tukundane reports that the construction of the flyover is expected to address this issue. This is Kampala Wheels.
Kampala metropolitan area is known for its vibrant activities, including businesses, lifestyles, and hosting major government ministries, departments, and agencies. Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, State House, Courts of Justice, Police Headquarters, and Defense Barracks. The National Referral Hospital, Mulago, and other exclusive private hospitals are also located in Kampala, along with various financial institutions. However, the city is undergoing developments. Nakasero, Owino, Ovino, Wandegea, Usafi, Nakawa, Katwe markets are active hubs for transactions. But to access these services, a well-maintained road network is essential for efficient transportation. Although the population and services have increased, part of the road infrastructure remains outdated.
But the maintenance has been the poorest in Uganda. Kampala capital city has 2,110 kilometers of road network, but only 30% is basically tarmac.
Most of our roads in the city are dead. They require reconstruction, not maintenance.
because they are beyond maintenance.
This is a lake.
We don't have enough, I would call them auxiliary roads. We are all sort of using the main, which becomes jam. Those roads which would be feeding the main are in bad shape.
We shall need to remodel them so that they either become dual carriage. Others, the lanes could be expanded. But the land tenure system comes with its complications.
Nevertheless, significant road construction projects such as the Entebbe Express Highway, Northern Bypass and flyovers have been completed or are underway.
Abasabaze baffe betuvuga bano tiboto bongeza mu kasenti no muvuga okumujje Kampala paka Mukono jamu ni wabanga monji tasobola kuongeza ate ne obo ogambye nti noteme ku jamu wetolole era amafuta gasigala mangi ate omusabaze yetayongera muko ku sente no sigala nga ate gwanyigirizibwa.
Government has signed off a concession with a private company to invest in the deployment of about 2,000 buses in the city of Kampala. Now that will solve the issue of mass rapid transit systems.
So that all these people who would be driving, who are driving private cars, can feel comfortable to use public means without any problem. And we need big buses, not even these small mini buses, because they will still occupy a lot of space.
Currently, the GDP we waste just traversing from one place to the other. On an average, every Ugandan who works in the city reaches about 3 hours, productive hours in jam. So if we are to sort that out alone, it will greatly improve household income.
In most cases, you reach the other side and traffic is a lot, and you're forced to jump on a border. Sales are very low. Then the cost of the border also enters into your pocket because of the traffic jam. Remember, you're running to go and find customers. So then later in the evening, you leave work. By the time you reach home, you're very tired because of traffic jam. Say you enter a taxi at 8, you reach home at 10 when you're too tired. Then waking up, you again wake up late. So it affects you in all ways.
I'm joined by Tony Kent, a breakfast show host at Magic 100 FM, and he's here to give us his perspective on construction of flyovers by the government of Uganda. Tony Kent, one of the reasons the government of Uganda is giving for the construction of these flyovers is to reduce congestion in the city. Is this realistic?
It is very realistic, yes, but what has caused the congestion in the cities, it is buildings that have no plan, parking spaces that are not gazetted, because where they are meant to happen to decongest that kind of traffic that we have lots of buildings and other settlements that cannot be disrupted.
Ekisooka ndi Lubyanza sina stage. Ekyokubiri obuzibu tusanga nga ku makubo gano abapakinzeeko emmotoka kiri kintu eki kimu. Omuntu oyinza okuba ng'oli mu kuva eno n'otuuka ekkubo ne lifunda naye obufunda bw'ekkubo ate nga kwe kuli ne paakingi oli n'aleeta emmotoka n'agipaakinga mu kkubo kati ffe bwe tuba nga tuzze oluusi tubayita oba okwenyigiriza ono apaakinze ow'emmotoka ayagala kuyitawo ogenda okulaba ng'oyagala kuyita wakati awo obuzibu tusanga mu kamawanga.
When discussing Kampala City, it is impossible to overlook the persistent issues of outdated and narrow roads, as well as traffic jam. Overcoming these challenges requires a high degree of discipline to minimize inconvenience.
So because the roads are narrow, we need to have morals, ethics to behave. If you are going down, remain in your lane. If you are going north, remain in your lane. So jam is created by people who don't follow traffic orders, people who don't follow traffic systems.
Effectively managing the high number of vehicles in the city poses a challenge for law enforcement. The narrow roads struggle to accommodate the increasing number of cars over time. Additionally, during the rainy season, floods damage the roads and sometimes paralyze transport. The Kampala Capital City Authority is responsible for city planning.
The politics in the city council, in the city authority, you have seen the disagreement between the councillors, the politicians and the technical side.
That finally we've been able to establish and inaugurate the Roads Committee. The Roads Committee is a creature of the Uganda Road Fund Act, and the political people have not been so much into it. But now this gives us an opportunity to work with them closely so they know how much money has come and what that money has done. I think it will help us in resolving some of the misunderstanding where the political people may think that the money is being misused. But now we are going to go as a team.
We're going to have an intelligent transport system. This intelligent transport system will solve all the traffic problems, most of the traffic problems we have in the city. Now, of course, before we go to the high-level things, we also have to deal with the low-level things. That's why you see we are trying to streamline the operation of border borders in the city. It may look like a mundane task, but it's one of the most important undertakings KCC is implementing at the moment.
But you know, that's the only, that is the fastest means of transport that someone can use to reach where they want, and it is also the cheapest. But if we had cheap public transport, probably people can even abandon border borders.
And among the other things which will be done, among the mass transport which is going to be done, is the lorry transport. We are also going to increase on the distance. We are now doing Kampala to Namamve.
This is majority of everyone who has an escort vehicle blocking all the rest that you cannot, if you're already behind, you cannot overtake. And sometimes they are not driving very fast. We are paying, please, for the record, we are paying for the expressway. I paid, and you make me go slow.
I won't even call it ignorance, because you find very important people, yeah, doing things that will astonish you actually. A good car, a well-educated person, and is keeping right off the road, yeah? And then you expect also a border man to, like, they see these people doing these things and they think it is okay since so-and-so is doing it, let me also follow suit. You get it? So, and yet the law is not selective. People just wake up and think they are very entitled and they can pass wherever they want, without, which is wrong, because it sends a very bad signal on the kind of citizens we are.
I must leave Mukono by 4:30 a.m. Ordinarily, this is time when people should still be resting, but now you must factor in the traffic jam in order to prepare for a journey.
If you are late, you don't blame me. If you are late, don't blame me. You were late, so behave. If you wanted to reach office early, you should have come earlier, because our roads are narrow.
Given the current circumstances, we must exercise patience with traffic congestion and plan our time accordingly. Even with the available flyovers, call them bypasses, they ultimately lead us back to narrow roads. For now, we can only adapt to this new lifestyle while awaiting for a long-term, well-tested strategy to effectively decongest the city. I'm Ivan Tukundane, reporting for UBC in Kampala.
And in sports, Uganda has joined the rest of the world to celebrate the 2023 Olympics Day. This day aims at commemorating the start of the International Olympics Committee in 1894. I beg your pardon.
After
multi-marathon-like 5 days during which participants attended more than 50 hours of practical and theory lessons, the Federation of International Volleyball Federation Level 1 coaching course has climaxed in Kampala.
Let's Move for this year's Olympic Day is generated from the idea that most of the population is not doing a lot of physical activity. So they thought to tell the public and the world that let's move and be active and do some physical activity, at least daily for 30 minutes every time to move our bodies. Hence the word or the keyword, let's move.
The course was a brainchild of Uganda Volleyball Federation to improve its technical arm that it's convinced has benefited immensely.
Here to celebrate the Olympic Day at the Olymp Africa Center, and we're happy to say that these values have been espoused and have been shown by young people. The value of excellence has been shown through young people competing in over 5 games in baseball, football, volleyball, sitting, basketball, all these games, and they have done their best, which is the value of excellence. We have seen friendship that very many young people today have left with friends. Some came from different schools where they didn't know who was who, but today as a result of the games they have been able to learn from one another. And also lastly, respect, which has been shown through the fact that we are not fighting, we are not questioning decision, and we're just playing for the love of the game.
The workshop attracted 41 participants, including several from the region, with names like Emmanuel Kato, Isaac Muhumuza, Tadeo Winyi, Randiza Fred Musoni, and Kenyan Eliza Wagisi Karugu among the excellent.
Next day, we are here enjoying the sports, the view. There is basketball, volleyball, football, and as you can see, guys are enjoying. I really like sports. Yes. I should encourage you guys to play sports because it's good for your body.
So good that it's bringing back hope to our children. And the activity has made the children really socialize. They really enjoying and forgetting all other weaknesses that they had at home. Even those who came from full of conflict homesteads, they now forget all about that and they enjoy the situation with their friends.
What follows for the successful coaches is put into practice, while the Volleyball Federation targets its referees for a Federation of International Volleyball Federation training course in Tunisia next month.
All right, that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and have yourselves a lovely Saturday night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Instrumental. Shucks. Yeah. Ready now. Oh, no. Yes, we're ready, alive in J-Rocks right now.